What is happening, fishers? Welcome back to the channel. So this evening we're going to run through the hooks we use. Guys, there are thousands of different variations of hooks. Predominantly they all fall into three categories: treble hooks, which you'll find on your lures. Some guys do use them for different types of bait angling; circle hook, and what we commonly call as a J hook. Each of them has different shapes, sizes, thickness of gauges. Guys, we could be here talking for hours, but tonight we're just going to focus on J hook versus circle hook. Guys, I grew up fishing with what we commonly call as a J hook. As you can see, we call it a J hook because it looks like a J. And then we'll pop one of these landits out here quickly. What we commonly call a circle hook, because of the shape, you'll see the point sticks back like that. So J hooks versus circle hooks, guys. As I said, grew up fishing with J hooks. When it comes to when a fish bites, a J hook, you actually have to put pressure and a fast striking action to get that hook to set. So when the fish is, obviously the hook's in the fish's mouth, it's going to come over and I'm not going to pull too hard, I don't want hooks in my finger. And you're going to put pressure on the fast striking action, and that hook is going to peg into the fish's mouth. Opposed to a circle hook, you don't want a rapid strike at all. Hook will go into the fish's mouth and the fish will slowly swim off. And what you'll do is, as soon as you feel that pressure, you'll start applying pressure and the circle hook will set itself as it turns. Then if you can try to get into my skin a little bit, the circle hook will set itself there, guys. Okay, so now when to use a J hook, when to use a circle hook, guys. Some guys only fish with J hooks, other anglers only fish with circle hooks. I mix them up. So my bronze bream and my shad fishing, and now and again, if I'm fishing for flatfish, I prefer to use a J hook. I find I get a better hookup ratio on the bronze bream because they're such weird little biters swimming you in and things like that. I find that on a J hook, if I strike, I get better action. Shad fishing, I prefer a J hook. I cannot catch shad on a circle hook like some oaks can because they're such erratic biters. They're shaking all over the place and things like that. I find a J hook hooks way better. And then for flatfish, I personally find it extremely difficult to hook flatfish on circle hooks. I find I get a much better hookup on a J hook. I think it's to do with the fish being over the hook and the hook sitting flat and I'm not getting the hookup right or I'm doing something wrong. So those are the 3 times I would use a J hook, guys. Circle hooks, definitely converted and become a big fan. I did struggle for the first 2 or 3 weeks, guys. That memory of 30 years or 35 years of fishing and striking takes some time to get used to. Not to strike when the fish bites. But once you've mastered it, guaranteed that on a circle hook you will have a lot more hookups. I think at least 9 out of 10 times on a circle hook I get a hookup. Opposed to a J hook, maybe 6 out of 10 times, 7 out of 10 times. I really haven't done the analytics behind it. So, but I find a circle hook, your hookup ratio, once you've mastered the art of setting a circle hook, you will have a lot better hookup ratios. Another key benefit of a circle hook is, especially if you're fishing for your, I'll call them the bricky fish, black steamruss, silver steamruss, 9 times out of 10, your sinker's going to get stuck in the bricks at some stage, guys. You're going to have that fish stuck in the bricks. I think there's not a time I've caught a black or a silver where I haven't been hooked up at some stage. With a J hook, you have to keep the pressure on the fish to keep that hook set. As soon as you drop the pressure, that J hook normally pops out. With a circle hook, because of the shape, you can actually take a little bit of pressure off that fish, feed it some loose line. Normally the fish either snaps your sinker line off or swims out of the reef or the rocks, and that circle hook's normally still sitting there, guys. So that's predominantly one of the times I like using a circle hook. Another bonus of a circle hook is it does not hurt the fish as much, guys. I think 99 times out of 100, you're going to hit the fish in the corner of the mouth here. A circle is just going to go through the front lip or behind the jaw plate. Makes it really easy to get your hooks loose from the fish. You don't have to worry about the hook going down into the fish's gut and its stomach and tearing it and killing the fish. I know the Bullfish, the World Bullfish Association and the World Sports Fishing Association, the guys are only allowed to use circle hooks now for ease of releasing the fish, guys. Non-edible fishermen, sharks, I think a circle hook's the only way to go, guys. You don't want to have to be sticking your hand down a shark's throat and losing some fingers or being bitten. Circle hook makes it nice and easy in the corner of the mouth, easy to pop the hooks, and so forth. So moving back to J hooks, obviously the benefit for erratic biting fish, you get a lot better hookup ratio. Now, that's just a standard J hook. J hooks come in a variety of sizes, guys, different shapes, sizes. And we're not going to run into shapes and sizes. I'll just tell you that's pretty much a standard size. Your Aberdeen and your Viking, you'll find they've got a lot longer shank. So the Viking hook is the hook I like most for shad fishing. It gives you quite a long shank on the hook. So when you're putting your sardine bait or your cutlet bait up the hook, you get the extra protection from the shad where they're biting with very sharp teeth. You can fish a Viking just with like a 1 mil nylon leader, and you're probably not going to get bitten off that much. At the other end of the scale, you'll get a shorter one. You'll probably find the hook eye will be where the bottom of my finger is there, so your hook will pretty much look like that. Those are pretty much called octopus hooks. Those hooks are great if you're fishing with your bait dangled below your hook. If you're fishing a dingle dangle or something on here, the shorter action of the hook gives the bait better movement in the water. You don't have this extra top piece pulling the bait around. Gives the bait a more natural flow in the water if you're using an octopus hook and things like that. And then also inline hook versus offset hook. Each angler will have their personal preference. Obviously come in different gauges. Smaller fish shad, you want a thinner gauge for better hook penetration, and the bigger the fish get, the thicker gauge hook you want for a stronger hook. Please note, obviously the thicker the hook gauge gets, the harder you have to strike to get that hook to penetrate, especially on your non-eds where they've got thick leathery skin. You really have to pull hard to get that hook to pop through. Okay guys, I'm quite stoked. I saw these on the internet the other day. BKK have just brought out their competition circles. I'm assuming that says bullfish on it, so I'm assuming these are all good for bullfish fishing for the Bullfish Association. I don't think they would have stuck that stick on otherwise. I'm quite stoked. It comes in a 25 pack because I think your ATOs, if I was using the inline or the offset ATOs, normally came 5 in a pack. So the 25 pack does make it a lot more affordable now, guys. It probably drops the hook price to probably about 11 Rand a hook, opposed to, I think we were paying about 14 or 15 Rand a hook before, which is great, and it gives me more hooks. Really enjoy having lots of hooks, guys. So let's pop these open and see what they look like. Guys, first time I'm actually having a look at these. I'm going to pop one off here. And there we have it, guys. Slightly different shape to the previous BKK, a bit more of a rounded shape if I'm not mistaken. And that is the inline as well. Slightly thinner gauge to your BKK inlines and your monster circles and things like that. But a great looking hook. So we can't wait to test these out. I know these are new on the market. I think they launched about 2-3 weeks ago. I might be mistaken. It might even be sooner than that. But a brilliant looking hook. So one thing we need to remember when using a circle hook is how to tie a circle hook on correctly, guys. Sorry, I've got very bad eyes, guys, as you all know. I'm not going to tie the knot now, guys. If we just do a normal blood knot or figure of 8, I'll show you now. I'll pop him on there quickly. This is the way you don't want to fish a circle hook, guys. I'm not going to tighten it up so I can't get it loose. So I've got the circle hook there. This is the fish mouth coming over. So my thumb is in the way. You'll see now it's hooking me. It'll pull out majority of the times, guys. Okay. That's because we've got pressure applied straight from the top of the hook, which is what we don't want. So when it comes to a circle hook, snell knot is the key difference between hooking fish and not hooking fish. I'm going to tie a simple snell knot quickly for you. It's not a knot video, but just going to show you how it goes. Very simple, guys. In the front, always in the front, tag end down, wrap. There's some guys have different numbers, 5, 6, 7. I'll just wrap it. I know that's more than enough. It's probably 7 turns. And the key thing is in the front, get it to my eyes, I can see it. Sorry, I bit that off, guys. So it's not, you just tag end out the back. Put some tension, that hook's nice and set. So you can cut the tag end off a bit shorter, but always leave a little bit there in case it does slip. Now I'll show you the difference. Okay, there it is. Before, that's actually stuck in my hand. Before I was pulling up, and the hook was just coming straight up my hand. Okay, so that's the difference, guys. So always make sure when you're fishing a circle hook, the piece of line that's going up to your swivel is coming out the front of the eye. So when the hook pulls, you get a twisting action of pulling the hook back, and that's going to help you set the hook. What you can do at home, I wouldn't suggest using your hand, guys. Get a polystyrene cup, tie your snell knot the right way, put the hook in the cup, pull the hook slowly out the cup, and you'll actually see how the hook turns and gets set into the cup. It's a nice way to practice the speed of, obviously when you're fishing a circle hook, a fish is going to come grab some off. Obviously we're not striking, because if we strike, it pulls it out too fast, nothing's going to hook. It's a nice way of practicing the speed. You need to lift your rod. So obviously the fish bites, your rod's going to go down, start tensioning up. And now the big thing is, when's the right time to apply that pressure to get that hook to push through, guys. It's the easy way I do it. I probably fish my drag at 50% of what I would be if I'm fighting a fish. So once my rod goes down, once that reel, spool on the reel clicks, after that, as I hear that first click, I know that hook's sitting. It hasn't been set yet, but I know the hook's sitting in the right place because there's tension on the line. Then I'll just take my rod and I'll just slowly lift the rod tip up 2 or 3 times like that, and that hook will eventually push through. Different guys, some guys just let the fish run and just tighten up the drag as it goes, then hook will pop through. I just like to give my rod 2 or 3 little lifts like that. But that's the main thing, guys. Get out and practice fishing with a circle hook, and I promise you, you're not going to be mistaken. On the other hand, the J hooks, if for the youngsters and things like that, J hooks are nice for catching your smaller stripies and things like that. But get the young guys onto a circle hook, guys. I know if you're fishing the rivers and things like that, I've seen guys catch spotties. They put a prawn on their hook, they put their hook off the end of the boat, and that fish swims off and hooks itself. There's no striking, no missing. It's a lot safer than fishing with a J hook. You don't have to worry about pegging your hand, someone standing on the hook. It's a nice safe hook, no sharp ends unless you put your hand onto the inside. But there are places in everyone's fishing arsenal for both hooks. So get out and choose it. Guys, if you're fishing with either hooks, fish with good quality hooks. We've all lost fish out there fishing with inferior hooks. There are great hooks available at very good prices. Landed are probably some of the cheapest hooks out there. Listen, I fished with mates a little while back. We got black steermers of, I think ours was about 13 kilos, and we got some of 11 kilos and 8 kilos, all on the under 15 Rand packet of hooks. And all these hooks hold up. We got 6 blacks out that day, and not one hook failed. So on the lower end, if you're wanting a good quality, very affordable hook, look at the Landits. They make a beautiful circle hook. Awesome for cob, very thin gauge, which I like using for cob. And then if you are looking for probably arguably the most premium circle hook in the world, in my eyes, there are a few other brands out there that are just as good. But if I could pick a hook, the BKK, Andrew and myself, we BKK fanatics, guys. Get some of these. These are probably the sharpest hooks I've ever felt. Great hooks. I think 8.0 is our hook of choice for most edible fishing. Catch non-heads on them too. Anyway, guys, so that's the difference between the hooks. Those are the hooks we use. If anyone wants to know what size hooks we use to target different species, in the comments below, hit us a comment, and I'm sure Andrew and I will reply to tell you what hooks we use for what particular species and sizes and things like that. Guys, I hope that's been informative. I hope we're all hooked. Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I know we're heading close to the 2,000 subscribers mark. We're super stoked. We can't wait to get there. December is around the corner. Get out there, buy your husband, wife, loved ones, buy them some hooks, guys. You're not going wrong. Until next time, we see you all soon. Cheers.